te dama leen a wéer naa leen bañ
Constituency chairman dañ war a dem constituency chairman yi ñu ne seen añ bi pare na mu ngi ci hall bi nekk ci biti constituency chairman yi añut ñu ne añ bi pare na ngeen dem ci hall bi constituency chairman ol minu man konton ke ko konton pare na alsita bantala be konton be je
Okay, assalamu alaikum. Suñ parti leader bi exina. His Excellency Lawyer Ousainou Dabo exina. Can we all stand? Jeff Abaraka. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Abaraka, jërëlen Jeff. Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay.
After the prayers.
Abaraka jërëleen jëf. Good afternoon. Your Excellency Lawyer Ousainou Darboe, Secretary General and Party Leader of the United Democratic Party, members of the United Democratic Party executives, UDP delegates, dear comrades, ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, members of the executive, I would like to invite Imam Bamba Suare to lead the prayers of this afternoon before we start our session.
Ikamin banke jan walem nyinti ko mfelem bina dunna programo fango nyinkono ilafta mo be si nselamoy bari janning be wokela dorong be imamo kumandila aina kadua jamano fo alasem be so kairo la jang hamen ko mo minti fo alasa kenye
Imam Bamba Suare.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين واهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديه وما خلفه ولا يأتون من شيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض فلا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم حرمة محمد رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما كلك والهادي لما سبق الناس من الحق وعلى آله أهكدري ومقتار العظيم إن الله وملائكته يصلوا على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا يصلوا عليه وسلم تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين حرمة محمد رسول الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه محمد ألم عليكم يكتنك ألم عليكم سترة ألم عليكم بدي سمعناته نحن منكم من دلما تلاقين 2021 kilani kilani amul bi hormona barako sabako alamma salo hormona barako sa wato hormodo bidon hormon salatul fatiha hormon inshallah nabil karim
Baraka bake ya Imam. Dear executive, members of the executives, dear comrades, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the second session, part 2 of this program today.
ako abe mobe tentula abe mobe jaila ya kompinolu ani luntambal min bebe shirin jambi abe nyi itandila alla ko na programme o da folo botala nyinnem abunda fulanjango timbina dunna wala kono janteng.
The session would be looking at discussions and reports on the Congress report, the activity report, and the financial report. It gives me the singular honor to moderate this session, and I would like to invite Honorable Alaji Dabo, the Acting Senior Administrative Secretary, to give the Congress reports for this afternoon. Honorable Dabo, the floor is yours.
Ako abe Honorable Dabo Kumandila kana banke di nyin congresso min mbejang ala reporto ni o botaje fana activity reporto binala ni o fana botaje da panso Kenya min ketanung o fana be banke la janne mo be sa kala mutaw nyama.
Before we start, I want to acknowledge the presence of some of the executive members who were not here earlier in the morning, and that is the president of the National Women's President, Ajaratu Sukainaka. I want to acknowledge Fatu Cham, also member of the executive, and I want to acknowledge also Karafa Sonko and Honorable Suku Singate. They were not here when we were being introduced earlier this morning.
Ako luntamba dolle mamma benu jang somanda bari mbetembo minto wolfele muta ifutata jang woketa National Women member ti janne o fana bi jang Karafa Sonko fana natale min keta deputy campaign manager national aning Suku Singate o fana mabete jan Honorable Suku Singate afana be dongoto janne abe wala kibaro di kanteng aning Fatu Cham o fana be maberi janne saim be tembo minto teng.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator, Olidi Bawada. Good afternoon, Congress delegates, Your Excellency, the party leader, the deputy party leader, the national president, United Democratic Party, the entire executive members. It is a pleasure to stand before you this evening to present the report of the National Congress of the United Democratic Party held from 7 to 9 December 2018. Your Excellency, last year, the Congress converged here to deliver the various programs of the Congress, which I am here to read. I will beg the indulgence of the Congress to give the summary of the report since we are running out of time. The members of the Secretariat who prepared the report were Dembo Kante, Chair, Bakara Jambe, Sewu Sanyang, Mamanding Kuyate, Amlai Toure, and Lord Mayor Talib Bensouda and Lamin B. Gambia. The 2018 Congress, like this year, was held in 3 days. Day 1 on the 7th December was the opening ceremony, moderated by Almame Fandintal, the spokesperson of United Democratic Party. Mr. Tal expressed the delight and pride in welcoming all Congress delegates. He introduced the program of the day, arrival of the delegates, invited guests, arrival of the party officials, prayers, introduction by the moderator, and the welcome remarks by the national president. Then was Alhaji Dembo Bojang. Statement by the Secretary General and Party Leader, cultural entertainment, and the departure of the invited guests. The spokesperson went further to introduce the party official to the Congress delegates. Accordingly, he noted the absence of the several key people in the democratization process of the country and the fight against tyranny that was endured over the 22 years of Yahya Jammeh rule. He led all participants in observing minute silence and prayers for all those who lost the fight to end the Yahya Jammeh dictatorship, recognizing them all as national heroes and martyrs. The then party senior administrative secretary delivered a statement. He welcomed the attendees and reminded them of the importance of the Congress as consultative forum of the party. He also reinforced the party democratic principles and discipline. The statement by the national president, Alhaji Dembo Bojang, Mr. Bojang gave an account of the successful earlier UDP national congresses held in Brikama West Coast region, Jara Soma Lower River region, Basse Upper River region. Mr. Cordiality in which previous congresses were held and enjoyed all to ensure that the 2018 Congress followed the same spirit. According to him, all the earlier congresses were successfully held, for which he expressed the wish and prayer that the present one will be held without any obstacle. Mr. Bojang gave the indulgence of the party delegates for the late start of the proceeding, which was due to the higher than expected number of delegates from some constituencies. Alhaji Dembo Bojang went further to note the regret on some negative aspects of the intra-party discourses in social media, especially the insults of party leaders and other senior personalities. The speech by the party leader, His Excellency Alhaji Hussein Dabo, the party leader also welcomed all the National Congress. He noted that he was not present at the Congress as Vice President of the country, but rather he was present in his capacity as Secretary General and Party Leader of the United Democratic Party. As such, enjoyed all to address him as those during the Congress period. The party leader acknowledged the presence of the former Vice President Ajafat Marajalo Tambajang, Mr. Ahmed Maifati, Secretary General of Gambia Moral Congress, Mr. Majanko Samusa, National Convention Party, Mr. Omar Jallo, People's Progressive Party, representatives of other political parties, Mrs. Mayendur Dabo, Mrs. Sal Dabo, and Alhaji MC Cham, a personal mentor of the party leader. He noted the current status of the party reflected in the considerable number of UDP National Assembly members and the control of the 7 of the 8 local authorities. He particularly welcomed all National Assembly members, mayors and authority chairmen present. The party leader paid homage to all other political parties and individuals who contributed to the disbanding of the Yahya Jammeh dictatorship. He called on all party militants to continue their adherence and respect for the rule of law, which had been a core principle and value of the party. He urged all members to strengthen their commitment to maintain the integrity of the party and follow the leadership of the party. The party leader paid tribute to membership of the party in the diaspora, who he emphasized have shown their worth and abilities in the events that led to the removal of Yahya Jammeh's government. He called for their continued and full participation in the activities as well as the process of nation building that he was already embarked upon. He paid homage to the leadership of the party through the able stewardship of Ajayam Seka, the Deputy Secretary General, and all those officials elected at Basel Congress. He celebrated their courage and resilience, whilst he and the senior executive members were incarcerated by the Israel exorbitant regime. He was happy to know that such efforts by Ajayam Seka and her team and the choice of UDP candidate as the coalition flag bearer in the December 2016 presidential elections. In the person of Adama Barrow, who is today the President of the Republic of the Gambia. He went further to pay homage to the last 2 years as truly remarkable in the course of the development of the party, in that the party has encouraged profound changes as the country has entered a new era of socio-economic and political development. In order that today, UDP indeed has great cause to celebrate. Dabo reminded the Congress delegates of some basic truths. There is no doubt that the Gambian people voted the Excellency Adama Barrow as the President in 2016. However, he noted to all that the we must live up to the trust that the Gambian people have placed on us and prove ourselves worthy of the history's choice, and that our great cause calls for strong leadership of this great party. We must consciously safeguard the solidarity and unity of the party and must unite all forces and work as one, progress towards the brilliant future of the national glory. He formally declared the Congress open. The session 2 of the program was the reports presentations, and Honorable Lamin Deba did the presentation of the activity report. He cited the events of April 2016, the 6th December to 2018, presented by the Party Secretary General, Alhaji Hussein Dabo. The Party Secretary General gave a report of key activities undertaken by the party during the relevant period, 14th April 2016, the Solo Sunday Encore, and April 16, 2016, the senior executive of the party led demonstrations, and then the UDP baton was carried on by Ajayam Seka during the difficult period and the continued advance course of the party when most of their senior executive members were in mild to prison. They started the Kalama Revolution began on the 9th May 2016, led by the women who profoundly stood by the party executive who were under persecution. On the 31st July 2016, a rally was organized in Birkama, and the party's leader's first wife spoke in the rally whilst her husband was in detention to show solidarity with the fraternity and support the party leader. On the 7th August 2016 was another successful rally that was organized by the party. Adama Barrow took the podium for the first time and addressed Gambian nation in another rally in Bundung, Serekunda. On the 1st September 2016, Adama Barrow was elected as the flag bearer of the party, and nationwide tour followed to introduce him to the party members across the country. On the 30th October 2016, the coalition was formed, and a memorandum of understanding signed among members. A national convention was held to select a flag bearer for the coalition, and Adama Barrow won 308 votes and was duly selected as the flag bearer of the coalition. On the 3rd November 2016, Adama Barrow resigned from the party to lead the coalition as the presidential candidate, and on the 5th November 2016, Ajiyam Seka, the deputy party leader, acknowledged and accepted his resignation and thanked him profoundly for all his services to the party. 2017 and 2018 witnessed a series of elections, National Assembly, ward and regional chairs and mayors. UDP registered a resounding and landmark victory after the coalition failed to agree on a strategic alliance in the elections. A total of 31 names were elected from the party. UDP had the coalition spirit during the NAMS elections and recommended that they will only contest for 25 seats in areas where they are strongest, and suggested that no multiple candidates from the coalition members be put against each other. These suggestions made by the UDP elections were rejected by some coalition members. Despite that setback, however, the party, in the spirit of the coalition, didn't put candidates against coalition members in their strongholds, covering such places as Wolle, where Sidia Jata dominates, Salum and Nyamida strongholds of Ahmad Ba, and Serekunda, a stronghold of Halifa Saleh. The financial report by Honorable Ahmad Sane, the party treasurer, presented on his behalf by Honorable Lamin Dambundiba, the late, during the period April 2016 to 2018, the party raised a total income of 4.1 million, expended a total of 2.6 million. The party treasurer acknowledged that the UDP diaspora chapters across the world have funded a lot of UDP activities, either through direct cash contributions or in-kind contributions. He also acknowledged the immense contribution, both cash and in-kind, of individuals, especially that resident in the country, in order that the financial value of these contributions cannot in any ways be measured. He noted the financial contribution currently being made by the National Assembly members of the party, as well as the party executive. Day 2 of the Congress, the executive committees included Nogon Jai attended the second day's session, and that we witnessed the constitutional amendments moderated by my humble self, Alhaji S. Dabo. The main amendments to the Constitution were presented by Honorable Alhaji S. Dabo, and the party leader also made few proposals which form part of the amendments. All amendments were translated into the local language by the moderator, Almami Fandintal. Contributions and clarifications were made by the various Congress delegates, among them Almamo Diba of Jara West, Omar Ba from Kiang West, Ibrahima K. Sane from Brikama, Alhaji Mansan Daw from Banjul, Alhaji Jawara, National Assembly member for Lower Badibu, Rohi Malik Lo, the mayor of Banjul, Member Kote, the councillor Kuntauru, Ablai Bonde Fonidaro, Yaya Sise, Sandu Diabuku Ward. Lami Cham, the then National Youth President, also contributed in the debate, then some other National Assembly members as well. Mr. Dabo, the moderator, in his response, clearly justified the amendments, and Honorable Hussein Dabo also clarified on the issues of the public servants not being allowed to hold executive positions. The part 2 of the event for the day was the party resolutions. The party came up with 30 resolutions as listed below to focus for the next 2 years, and these were read and presented by Mr. Dembo Kante and Almame Fandintal. 1. The establishment of the Party Committee on Policy and Strategy, the establishment of the Party Committee on Finance and Fundraising, the integration of diaspora structures in the party structures, party position on the promotion of gender parity, party position on empowerment of the youth, empowerment of the party leader to take disciplinary action, including dismissal for party members for gross violation of the party code of conduct, party position on climate change, party position on minimum wage, the establishment of Solo Sunday Memorial Lecture, party position on empowerment of the Gambian businesses. All proposed resolutions were unanimously accepted and adopted. The full text of all resolutions is attached as Appendix 1. Day 3, 9 December 2018, the first session was a statement from party leader, Moderator Lamin Dambundiba, Honorable Delegate. The party leader thanked all the participants in the party as well as the confident they response in the national executive. He emphasized that the choice of those that will lead the party resides with the people. No one imposes any candidate to the people, and no individual has the right to impose himself or herself to the party. Elections in the executive is totally going to the people's choice. He urged all to accept divergent views, respectives, while starting their own position in respect. He advised that our decisions to be guided by reason and not emotion. He wished the Congress a successful election in peace, tranquility, as held in previous elections. The ad hoc committee to preside over the election took over, and the committee comprised Bakari Jammeh as chairman, Mayor Talib Ahmed Bensouda as deputy chairman, Dembo Kante, Honorable Salif Gomez, Sirifo Jammeh as members. The committee presided over the nominations. Nominations were open for 33 positions. Out of these, 29 were unopposed. After consultations between candidates for the remaining 4 positions, consensus was reached, and competing candidates in all 4 positions withdrew their candidacy. They all called for party unity as they withdrew. The final list of the positions, nominations, and candidates is attached in as Appendix 4. I wish at this juncture to read a list of the elected members of the National Executive. National President Honorable Dembo Bojang, First Deputy National President Mrs. Yamunda Jeyabo, Second Deputy National President Honorable Mohamed Sane, Secretary General and Party Leader HEANM Usainu Dabo, Deputy Secretary General and Party Leader Aja Mariam B. Seka, Senior Administrative Secretary Honorable Lamin Dambun Diba, Deputy Senior Administrative Secretary Honorable Alhaji S. Dabo, National Organizing Secretary Honorable Ablais Soku Singate, Deputy National Organizing Secretary Babukar Jammeh, Administrative Secretary External Affairs Tombon Sedi, Deputy Admin Secretary External Affairs Haji Baniko Sisoho, Administrative Secretary Legal and Human Rights Almame Fandintal, Deputy Admin Secretary Legal and Human Rights Bori Ture, Administrative Secretary Finance and Economic Affairs Honorable Lamin Keti Jambe, Deputy Admin Secretary Finance and Economic Affairs Fatu Cham, National Treasurer Honorable Ahmad Sane, Deputy National Treasurer Kemo Sise, Auditor Honorable Landin Sane B. Sane, Deputy Auditor Alhaj Jiba, Campaign Manager Honorable Fakiba Koli, Deputy Campaign Manager Karafa Sonko, National President Women's Wing Aja Sukainaka, First Deputy National President Adama Jallo, Second Deputy National President Nogo Njai, Secretary General Women's Wing Jomfolo Jabi, National Youth President Honorable Suleiman Sao, First Deputy National Youth President Karim Toure, Second Deputy National Youth President Papa Toure, Secretary General, National Youth Wing, Bojang, National Female Youth President, Honorable Fatma Jawara, First Deputy National Female Youth President, Jimmy Sise, Second Deputy National Female President, Bine Marong, and the Secretary General, Female Youth Wing, Honorable Yakumba Jaite. The investors of the new executive, moderated by Almame Fandintal, who called the meeting to order, Honorable Sendao, the party leader and Secretary General-elect, delivered the closing remarks. Mr. Dabo acknowledged and thanked the JDC leader for his attendance at the closing ceremony. He also acknowledged the presence of the former Vice President, Honorable Ajafat Maratambajang, for gracing the occasion. He noted the show of unity and inter-party cooperation and understanding at the leadership of the parties. Mr. Dabo paid gratitude to all the executive and other members of the party who are no longer with us. He welcomed the new executive, urging them to brace for the challenges task ahead of embracing the party and building it towards a successful future. He particularly thanked delegates for the confidence reposed in electing him as party leader and promised to strive with everything in his power to work for the benefit of the party. Mr. Dabo indicated that the 1997 Constitution and various amendments is the guiding law of the UDP operations. He emphasized that the Constitution was amended to ensure that the party abide by the national Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, which the party should abide by always. He noted that the amendments done for accountability to the people who elected the executive in office, and that if we continue with the old ways of former regime by not abiding by the laws of the land, then our fight for the change will be meaningless. The party leader thanked the proprietors of the Paradise Suites Hotel for the generosity and support of the party, the security service for ensuring that the order is maintained throughout the Congress, the Secretariat for the administration and organization support, and the drafting of the resolution, delegates and everyone for the contribution to having a successful event. He declared the Congress closed and urged all to gear up for the rally at the buffer zone in Tallinn at 5:30. The Congress closed with prayers. Below were the appendix as earlier on mentioned, the UDP Constitutional Amendment, Amendment 1 for Article 8, we cater for creation of the various parts like the party veteran wing, the Keba Kafo, the party diaspora branches. And the amendment of Article 9, and this amendment cater for the delegates to the Congress. And this time around, instead of leaving the Central Committee to decide the number to attend the Congress, this amendment specified the number of the Congress delegates, that is 20 delegates per constituency, which shall be one quarter, who shall represent each of the following categories: men, women, male youth, and female youth. Therefore, 2 delegates to be nominated by each affiliated association. Article 9 of the Constitution Amendment, by inserting a clause, and this call for the secret ballot to be part of the electoral rule. And then the same article amendment, the decision of the Congress shall be by simple majority votes of the total valid vote cast, and that the aspiring candidate for the Congress shall be a bona fide member of the party and a delegate or a member of the outgoing executive committee, and that a person holding an office in the public service shall not hold office in the National Executive Committee, and an aspiring candidate shall be a Gambian and residing in the Gambia at least 1 year prior to the date of the National Congress. Article 9 of the Constitution is amended in subsection 4 by inserting after paragraph D the new paragraph, the quorum for the Congress to be 2/3 of the delegates. Article 10 also was amended in subsection 1 by inserting after paragraph G the following paragraph H, for the party mayor or mayoress and the party chairperson of each area council or party-sponsored candidate to form part of the membership of the regional executive committee. Under the chairperson of each regional committee, the women wing chairperson of each regional committee, the coordinator of each regional committee also to form part of the membership of each regional committee. That Article 10 of subsection is also amended in subsection 4 by deleting the word 6 and replacing it with the word 3. Amendment of Article 11. Article 11 of the Constitution was amended in subsection 1, paragraph 2, by inserting before the word deputy and the word one as paragraph 2, and by inserting paragraph 2 as second and deputy national president. Article 11 of the Constitution is amended in subsection 1, paragraph 18, by inserting below it new paragraph 18b, auditor, and 18c, deputy auditor. The same Article 11 of the Constitution is amended in subsection 5 by inserting after paragraph 31b new paragraphs 32 auditor, and this defines the function of the auditor. Amendment of Article 16. Article 16 of the Constitution is amended in subsection 1, paragraph 1 by inserting new paragraph after 26 as 27, which should read the party mayor or mayoress or area council chairperson or sponsored candidate. Article 16 of the Constitution amended in subsection 1(3) after paragraph 26 by inserting a new paragraph as 27, the party mayor or mayoress or the chairperson of each area council or sponsored candidate. And this defines the function of the said officers. Article 16 of the Constitution is amended in subsection 1, paragraph 4 by deleting the word Secretary General and by inserting new paragraph after subsection 1(1)(4) as Administrative Secretary. And this put in place the office of the Administrative Secretary in each regional office to be appointed. Article 16 of the Constitution is amended in subsection 1, paragraph 1(5) by deleting the words Deputy Secretary General by inserting new clause after subsection 1, paragraph 1(5) as 5(2) Deputy Administrative Secretary. Article 16 of the Constitution amended in subsection 1, paragraph 3(4) by deleting word Secretary General and inserting new paragraph after subsection 1, paragraph 3(4) as 4(2) Regional Administrative Secretaries. This goes on, and the functions of that office being created, being defined. Amendment of Article 17. Article 17 of the Constitution is amended in subsection 2, paragraph 1(17) by inserting the words or sponsored candidates after the word member. And the same amendment for Article 17 is subsection 2, paragraph 1(18) by deleting the word constituency and replace it with the word ward. The same amendment in subsection 17, in subsection 2, the same article in paragraph 1(18) by inserting the word sponsored candidates after the word councillor. The same amendment in subsection 4, paragraph 17 of Article 17 by inserting the word sponsored candidate after the word member. Similar amendment in the same article in subsection 4, paragraph 18 by inserting the word sponsored candidate after the word councillor. Amendment of Article 24. This article is amended by inserting the new article as follows. The Constitution may be amended upon the approval of 2/3 of the Central Committee. Appendix 2. United Democratic Party 2018 Congress Resolution, as I read earlier on, about 10 points resolutions were passed, and I did read those resolutions. Now, That ends the report of the 2018 Congress, and I want once more to thank the Secretariat that ably did this work and make us to present this report. I will not say for the first time, but to have a more accurate report of this nature, once more, we need to commend the Secretariat that was responsible. I thank you for the job well done. And Congress delegates, I thank you all.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Alaji S. Dabo, Acting Senior Secretary, Administrative Secretary, for sharing the statement and outcomes of the 2018 Congress and also summarizing the deliberations of the Congress. I think you have really done justice to sharing the overview of the report. Given, I don't know whether given the timing and given that people have been eating and are tired, I don't know whether I should request with your permission, Your Excellency, to have a very short interlude just to wake people up for a few minutes before we start the next session on the finance. Can we now invite on the floor the entertainer to start just one track so that we can at least liven up the hall before we get to the next sessions. Thank you.
Kamin bankete wolem nyinti ko tumo minna Honorable Alaji S. Dabo ay bankero ke bundal la mimbe dending tama nyandim nyala minu ketanum patie minkenum komanto ako kabiru o bota je o kum fata tumala minna jannin kadung fulanjango nyin kono alafita kam mo kumandi miya lonko asina ka molu entertain jang ka fenke miya lonko ase molu be sawarindi bawo mfelem bota kontongola tumando bato jamme kundankol be sinola janni ka sino e se kuke miya lonko ase molu be sawarindi no so ko ibole kumandi la praena ay tulungo keno.
So, I would like to call on is it the Casamas Boyo? Casamas Boyo, is he around?
usanga bangongo sonde mawodu manke kensenti ala yo sonde mati ko de na kudo sanja mane tapine mansa ya ni nora bariara bile mansino pa usenu dabo ki ko de na kudo nyabo de na kudo lanno de na kudo mona dabo mansa ya ba kumo de na koine ya koida mansa ya la dobo nyone ka mansa ya la dabo le ba folo Gambia kolo nimba keri alwa fasinwa Gambia molo mume mona ko nimba keri na bankoka alwa fasinwa mi mon nimi sa tondena sindi juna mona ni sita non juna benno mona kahata yepul de kela jani kama fesa kolo kaima kori no ya ke ole bumi ala yena kinyina kama Gambia ni wai fasa usini yela kasola da monni ole pia tabari ala fan wala mon nasaba boti Biti bola imaje masayata Koy koy usenu Kuri koy loya Mi pamandela Samay sabo mansa Webi akolo nimna keri Akwa Asiwa Akmi akolo mune Munako nimna keri Namakoka Akwa Asiwa
Baraka, baraka, baraka. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Abaraka, Abaraka. Ladies and gentlemen, dear comrades.
Okay, so Gambian Matan Yalako. I hear many people Bafokanko, I'm a Casamas, I'm a Senegalese, okay? I'm not a Senegalese, I'm a Gambian like you guys. Okay? So I'm not going to Gambian on the Manka Senegalese, do cool a cat in Nankata Senegal back, okay?
Abaraka,
Yeah.
Abaraka, Casamas Boyo.
Okay, mbe UDP kanutul mbal mu me konta mbal tentula mbal jela momo buta dawda anin do wato min do mbal tentula mbal jela anina patili dam fama kendo anin molni yala ko na wiltay ka wille na yela so mbe mu me tentula mbe jela lord mayor Banjul Rahim Malik lo mbe konta na ongul suku singate mbe konta na bake mbe tentula mbe jela okay anin France chapter nge tentu nge jay because kunu fane bulu fe nyimma dinna ngalong His Excellency a witness le okay the UK chapter ko kontona bake anin CAS chapter ol be wa kata kanne be ba Usain kanun tawleti manja biro mbal kontona mbal ton mbal jela lamin dam fa Usman ngal konto nta be to fono bar be tung nsadanta on foje dige UK chapter la musico dinna naita.
Okay, thank you very much.
Eka manyine la ya katabake ila doko beteada. UK chapter la trako dinna DJ. Okay.
Abaraka, Abaraka,
Sayna kanya ya kuri. Ala baraka bake.
Thank you very, very, very much, Abaraka. Thank you for charging the batteries and energy of everybody. I think we needed that after the food. So we're glad that he was able to do just that.
Olidi boka nyine itanda lako mbetembo minto mo be minibe sino le fele kuninta bao nyinjulo min teita teng na pati nyaton koe woya itandi lako momo be sino la mbebe kuniri ne silang wato sita silang bina bunda fulan jangoto bari jannim bita woto abe bankerol kela min keta jang amamme ala honorable alaji S Dabo e min sata tamandiri nyal to minu tambita abina wala tala ka adomandingo itandalla pour molbe sa fahamno min alaji Dabo e min fojan sainteng.
Thank you very much. We will now go back to business as usual. I have the honor to now invite the next speaker who will present the financial report. It gives me great pleasure to invite Honorable Amadou Sane, the National Treasurer of the United Democratic Party, to the podium. A round of applause for Honorable Amadou Sane. Honorable, you have the floor. Thank you.
I commandiro ke Honorable Amadou Sane wala bina ka itandiro ke ka bankero ke kolla min be dending na fulo kenyala min dapansita min sotota tumo min na tamandiro keta nyin sanji fulo min tambita abina wala itandila ten ay commandiro ke ko Honorable Amadou Sane asina ay itandiro ke jama mol bela.
Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. I want us all to stand up and give a huge round of applause to His Excellency Usainu A.N.M. Dabo, who is the President, the Secretary General and Party Leader and future President of the Republic of the Gambia, come 2021, to give the activity report. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Thank you, Democracy, thank you. Democracy, Allah Baraka. Huh? Thank you, Democracy, thank you. Allah Baraka Bake Democracy. I think Kasama's work was very electrifying. Took us, all of us, from the deep slumber we might have been. So, thank you. Democracy, Altanyinke Nola de. Kasama's boy Benke. Altoke Nola de. Anyway, Madam Moderator, I am tasked to present the activity report of the party from our last Congress to the date of convening of this current Congress. The activities undertaken by the United Democratic Party since December 2018 are many, and therefore it is not possible to catalog all the events constituting the activities. We'll just have to be selective in our presentation, because an activity undertaken by the party in Khartoum should also be reported on, but we cannot do that. So I'm being selective to highlight the key events that took place since December 2018. I must say that in 2019, there were a series of activities. There was the Women's Wing National Congress, which was followed by a rally at the SSP. And this rally was attended by all members of the executive. It was also part of the activities of the party to be hosted by the people of Gunjur for the National Youth Congress, which was held in March 2019. And in March 2019, when precisely on the 15th of May 2019, when Honorable Amadou Sane, the late Lamin Dambundeba, and myself were relieved of our cabinet positions, that provided us a unique opportunity, an opportunity that we had always looked for, to concentrate on the party. As they believe the Wolof would say, Pichabure Chachi Kejam, the fine now, them Funeka Lukoner. So, in March, I was invited by the UDP Seattle chapter for a fundraiser. It was the best, it was the first and probably the best engagement, because it set up the standard for other parties. As I was holding meetings with people in Seattle, the UDP was busy in Tujere with the Yellow Sisters. As I was holding meetings with people in the United States, the UDP was busy with people in Bunuakunda, in Brufut, and in Basse, and Soma. The result of my visit to the United States really led to the galvanization of our party support. It led to the re-engineering of our party's efforts to assert itself as the dominant party. In fact, when I arrived at Banjul International Airport on my return from the United States, the event was one of its kind. It had never had happened in this country. Since then, the party has been holding rallies. We held the mega rally at Nyani Jarume Koto. We thought that the rally in Soma, we thought that the rally in Bundu and Brufut were rallies that could never be surpassed. But what took place in Nyani made us and everyone of Nyani extraction to be really very proud. It was a rally of its kind. And the OYC, All Yundum constituency, also organized a rally in July of 2019. Bakau also did, and their rallies are always preceded by the Barawulo march from Kajikale to Kajikalo to Mamakoto and round to the beach. In 2020, November to be precise, the 3rd November, we left for Balibusal, Kenya, to hold a rally on the 1st of December. Again, that rally raised the bar from Jarume to a higher height. And it was a rally that was accompanied by the laying of the foundation stone for the UDP bureau in Jabakunda. On 22nd February, the Lord Mayor of Banjul hosted her party in Banjul, and that rally was one of its kind. The UDP had held rallies several occasions in Banjul, but the arrangements, the turnout on that occasion was one that we had never witnessed in the past, except the rally that we held at Vizaral Street in 1996 when we were launching the party. That was the only rally that is comparable to the Lord Mayor's rally. So we applaud the people of Banjul, Ajamseta, Ajuspainaka, and your people for really hosting us well. The Brikama Market Cambian Kafo, in collaboration with Ibrahim Adiba, also organized a rally in honor of UDP in Brikama. And since then, the UDP was gearing up to the All Badibu rally, which was supposed to have been held at the end of March. But unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic came on us, and as a result, we had to defer all political activities. And we continued postponing all political activities, even though some other people were busy on the political terrain, crisscrossing and positioning themselves. But we were true to ourselves and to our country, and we decided that we will lay off all activities. And but prior to that, let me say, I'm proud to announce that our party embarked on some humanitarian visits when there was flooding, massive flooding in Basse and in CRR, our party went to Basse and made a donation of $300,000 to the Basse community through the area council and the disaster management committee. We made similar donations of $300,000 to the Janjambure area council in order for that council to help assuage the negative impacts of the flooding. We crossed over to Kuntauru and donated $300,000 to the Kuntauru area council in order to help the disaster victims in the Central River region north. And on this occasion, I was accompanied by the deputy party leader and the president of the Women's Wing. When there was disaster in Basse, when fire broke out in Basse, again, the party, forgetting or putting aside politics, we decided to visit the area council chairman and the governor, as well as the disaster management committee, and we made a donation of $400,000 to the Basse area council to supplement their efforts in rebuilding the Basse market. I'm happy to say that our contributions may not have been in millions, but what we contributed is doing well to bring up the market to its standard. I claim that my party has contributed towards the building or rebuilding of that market, and no individual can claim that it is only their efforts. We did it when really the people needed it. And we did it while we were in opposition. Probably we would have done it much earlier and better if we were in government. When there was disaster at Brikama, my party also did not lag behind. Went Brikama, West Coast, Brikama in particular, I wouldn't say it's my backyard, but that is where the father of the party, Sanekunda, that's where they are. When they are struck by any calamity, by extension, I am struck and UDP is struck by the same calamity. And we could not be left behind, so we also went to Brikama and made a cash donation of $400,000, which we handed to the market committee. The COVID, which really halted our activities, has some devastating effect on the Gambian population. I established a COVID fund, which we call the Buntung, non-political, it's completely apolitical. But the bulk of the contribution came from members of the UDP, and I'm very thankful to them for their contribution. And this we did distribute the proceeds of the donation to the people of the Gambia. We embarked on a foundation laying of our bureaus. Pinala, well, Salkanye, as I said in December, Salkanye, after the Salkanye rally, we did one in Njabakunda, and this was followed by the one in Queenala. the United Democratic Party went out in numbers, as is usual, to respond to the call of their comrades, their compatriots in Kiang. The foundation laying of this bureau was really one that was financed by the people of Quinala. I know as a fact that they embarked on fundraising activities in the Greater Banjul area to raise the funds to transport people there. In fact, all those people who went there had hired their own vehicles to go and attend this occasion. I'm underscoring this to highlight events that took place in Quinala after the foundation laying. That event was witnessed by people gathered from all over, as far as we're from Kantora to Katong, at the expense of the Gambian people. And of course, even though that event that took place in Quinala after hours was funded by the Gambian people, it was really turned out into an activity by an organization that was seeking or is seeking to be voted into office. And that's the contrast. It is we who fund our activities, not get governments to fund our activities. The other grand ceremony that took place was in Sanyang on the 30th of October, 2020. Again, that was to lay the foundation stone for our Sanyang Bureau. That event, people were debating among themselves whether all these attendees are human beings. That was what people were saying. That shows that the UDP, when they are prepared to organize any event, they do it with perfection. They do it also with determination, with commitment, with sincerity, with honesty. They are not there. None of the people who attended that occasion were looking for a position for their brothers or trying to safeguard the positions of their sisters or wanting to be a safer in Combo South. None of them. There's people who are not there, ordinary Gambians, for the sake of Gambia. A very important and unforgettable activity of the party was the welcome organized for me and Mr. Diba and J. Paul when we returned from the Yakumba, when we returned from Europe. You are people who have witnessed it, and I need not give you any details of that. In fact, attempting to give any details of it would really be doing injustice, because maybe I just saw a minute aspect of that welcome. Others also saw minute aspects of it. Maybe we have to put all those together so that we can get the whole. But again, that was an event that I don't believe any party in this country can stage. And kudos to you, UDP, the organizing committee that really arranged this welcome, when thousands and thousands of people gathered at the Banjul International Airport to welcome us. It is apposite to mention that in April 2020, or before March 2020, but in 2019, the UDP took a decision that I don't think any party in this country had in the past taken. It was a decision to expel delinquent members of the party, National Assembly members who have turned disloyal to the UDP and been engaged in delinquent and anti-UDP activities. As a party, that was unacceptable. As a party, we cannot condone that. We have to, the party decided that we have to operate the party on the footings of discipline. No person who is in discipline, no person who wants to conform to the rules, no person who wants to be guided by the principle of the party can be retained in the party for the simple reason that such a person holds an elective office or whatever. We rather do away with delinquent members of our party rather than retain them, and they become cancerous and increasingly becoming cancerous, so that by the time we are prepared to deal with them, they would have caused serious damage to our body. We cannot allow that. So we expelled those 8 members. And in like vein, we expelled the delinquent local government authority members, 2 councillors from West Coast, and the chairman of the Brikama Area Council. We had expected that elections would have been held by now. But our surprise and disappointment, simple English, the IEC chairman and his advisors are unable to comprehend. When the language is quite clear, that when a person ceases to be a member of the party on whose platform he contested election, he will cease to be a member of the council. There is nothing as clear as that. There is nothing as simple as that. Not even a grade 12, even a grade 6 student would understand that language. But the IEC has chosen, to our disappointment, to engage in foot dragging and forcing us to go to court. It's a great disappointment. And if people have to continue to have confidence in the IEC must behave in ways and manners that will make people have confidence in them. This shakes our confidence in IEC. Simple language. They could not understand. It was a ploy why they were dragging their feet to seek an amendment to the Local Government Act. But they thought that such an amendment would have saved the person whom they wanted to have retained in office. But the amendment could not save him. But the unfortunate thing is that we have to go to court, and that, I believe, is not doing well for the credibility of the IEC. There were various regional activities done, regional tours by the National Organizing Committee as well as the National Campaign Committee. The party participated in the by-elections in Kerjarga ward, and we lost the elections. But the good thing about it is that we now know what to do in that constituency. We now know how to go about increasing our fortunes in that constituency. We wouldn't have known what our situation was there if we did not contest the elections, that would by elections. So we are happy that we contested the by-elections. The youth wing, National Youth Wing, also took undertook various activities. There was a youth congress on Saturday, 2nd March 2019, held at Gunjur, and as I already stated, that congress was followed by a youth rally. In March of 2020, the members of the youth wing, namely the Secretary General, Kemo Boja, and female regional leader from the North Bank region, Michelle Mendy, left the Gambia for China to attend the China Political University and participated in the Africa-China Youth Political Party program. This afforded them some fruitful experiences, and since their return, Kemo Bojang has been trying to put into use some of the things he learned there. This was in March 2019. And in April 2019, the youth wing organized the Victims March Past and also the Solo Sunday Memorial Lecture, which was held at the Mercy Hotel in Kololi in collaboration with the Halal Group and the Solo Sunday Foundation. This day is celebrated annually on the 14th of April to commemorate the lives and sacrifices of members of the party and their contribution in the democratization process. Unfortunately, this year, because of the COVID-19, we could not hold the memorial lecture and we could not hold any activity to honor Solo Sunday. In the month of Ramadan, the youth wing, in collaboration with some of the constituencies, organized a daily iftar, and also food items were distributed within the constituency to support the needy families. In July of this year, the Secretary General of the Youth Wing, Kemo Bojang, was selected for the prestigious Mandela Washington Fellowship, where he spent 3 months in the United States and built working relationship with the youth wings of the SWAPO Party in Namibia, APC in Nigeria, PASTEF of Senegal, ANC of South Africa, and many others. In November, the youth wing participated in the draft constitution consultation organized by the Westminster Foundation, where the youth wing submitted recommendations and positions on the draft constitution. In March, on account of the activities, the youth wing was able to influence 60 youths from the NPP to defect to the UDP in the North Bank. The youth wing was the first to roll out COVID response by supplying hand-washing points around the country. The youth wing also shot videos and hired a sign language interpreter to help in sending a more inclusive message to all sections of society. The youth wing and its members and members of the student union wing also took part in sensitization programs within KMC and West Coast region. This sensitization campaign was carried out to enlighten residents and non-residents on the dangers of coronavirus, its modes of transmission and prevention. As the overall food supply chain in the country, especially the penniless ones, was chipping in exponentially at the peak of the pandemic, the students' wing of the youth wing deemed it fit also to chip in and contribute its quota into the food bank initiative that I had established. In October, the youth wing, in collaboration with the campaign and organizing committee, held a 3-day nationwide tour across the regional bureaus and also visiting of the youth farms across the country. In the North Bank, the youth coordinator and its youth cultivated the Findi farm in Badibu Gunjur and beans in Jabakunda, in which harvesting was successful. In Central River region, the youth of Upper Fuladu West also cultivated rice field in the Bankunda, and they had very good harvest. They brought home 11 bags. And similar farming was done in Nyamina Jare and Wuli in Upper River region. The women wing, Sir had mentioned earlier, held their congresses in February 2019, and this was followed by a rally in Brikama under the new executive. On the 30th of August 2020, a delegation of 32 women from diverse settlements in Fonyi Kansala paid courtesy visit to the National Women's Executive Committee under the leadership of Ajasukaina Kam. The women of Kansala were honored to have been graced and celebrated by the party. They expressed their support to the party and promised to do their part in the promotion of the party towards national development. This occasion was graced by senior members of the party, including myself, who had showed heartfelt gratitude to the visitors. Due to the COVID pandemic, the second leg of the tour intended by the women's wing has to be postponed. And we hope very soon that this tour that the women's wing will embark on this tour. As I stated earlier, there have been various activities, but then these are the key events that we should bring it to the attention of the Congress, and hopefully what has been done in 2018 to 2020 will certainly be doubled in 2020-2022 tenure of the new executive. I thank you all for your attention.
Another huge round of applause for His Excellency Royal Seunodabo. Thank you very, very much for highlighting the key activities. As you mentioned, party leader, you wouldn't have been able to do justice with all the activities that were done between 2018 and to date. But you highlighted areas that included sensitization rallies, laying of foundations, humanitarian support work, international visits, particularly to our diaspora families, human resources and administrative work, the by-elections that were held, the activities of the youth wing, particularly the Solosandeng Memorial Commemoration, as well as the youth's activities in response to COVID-19. I want to take the opportunity now to invite the National Treasurer, Honorable Amadou Sane, to give the financial report of the United Democratic Party.
akamin banke jannu wolem nyinti ko parti leader kabira nata jang ala banke kono ayni itandi ko ku jamale keta bari mbe tembo min ton ni koy be be satala jang me mela janne bari mobe alon ne ko UDP ala activity nyin sangtambilalu yeminke nin ko mba fala jang te bola jambi bari wol kono ku kummayari ngolu min kummayata je ay wala banke teng mimbe dendi UDP la lo kangola tumo minna ye makoyro di ye demarol di dulalla din kiralla mi ya lonko abe nyatotale away nyatotale sabmanan ye bankero fana di mimbe den nim fondin ke latana ni na nyala patio kono ye do ko min ke nyin santambila kabiru o bota je non anata kumandiro ke min keta UDP la kodo ma min ka kodo mutaka nafulo mara wala nyinti honorable Amadou Sane wala kumandi pour fana wayna bankero di
the party leader and secretary general, deputy party leader and secretary general, acting president, president of the female wing, the youth wing, all executives, NAMs, delegates, distinguished invited guests, I want to say Assalamu alaikum. Before I deliver figures, I just want to go back a bit and give you a little background that will make you appreciate the figures more. The Gambia we know today emerged from a very difficult economic situation, a political crisis created by a dictator who refused to leave the country's governance. The economy was stalled with no program with the IMF. There was a failed rainy season and a completely flopped tourist season. So over the period 2017 to 2019, when UDP was part of the coalition government, your UDP party representatives served in various positions in this government, from Minister of Foreign Affairs, Lands and Regional Integration, Finance and Economic Affairs, the Vice Presidency, Agriculture, Trade, Industry, Employment, and Regional Integration. I think Gambians in general, not only UDP, will look back and have no regret in having UDP in government affairs, seeing the track record that they have displayed whilst in government. So just to remind you a few of the achievements of your UDP representatives in government, for the Gambia, that is our own homeland, let me list a few impactful developmental and transformative efforts whilst we served in the government. And I'm not a good musician like Kasama Sinko, but I would want you to join me in this. Who brought back Gambia from isolation into the community of nations, rejoining the Commonwealth, the ICC, and bringing back the IMF program after years of disengagement? Who did this? It's the UDP representatives in government. So I want you to sing, it's the UDP. I'm not Kasamasko, but I want you to sing UDP in this. Then, who brought in the threshold program from the United States with their Millennium Challenge Corporation to provide Gambia with over $30 million in their threshold program? Who did this? UDP representatives. Aha. Now your voices are coming up. And then, who led the Gambia to prepare the National Development Plan that this coalition government has been singing everywhere, and this current president is singing everywhere he goes in his campaign? Who led the preparation of this National Development Plan? The UDP. Then, who
planned and assisted and took your president to Brussels to secure $1.7 billion for the Gambia. Who did that for you? I think some were saying even the mice will have their share, the rats will also have their share, but we have not seen it. I have not got my share yet. I don't know whether you have got your share. Now, when we started, the electricity was really serious, a serious problem, serious blackouts. Who laid the roadmap for the electricity modernization project? We secured funding for 50 megawatts of electricity with IDB promising that, and Badia and the Kuwaiti Fund were being negotiated and they were willing to provide the balance. If you had 50 megawatts of generation, new generation power, would you be in blackness? Who stole the program? We did the program, but who destroyed the program? Now, we negotiated that every school would have a solar power. Every clinic, health facility will also have solar power. This was part of our national development plan. Who negotiated for the Gambia for things to come? We also, in bringing power from Senegal to supply some of their excess power, we purchased that, of course. And who also led the way for bringing a hydropower from the Kaleta Dam in Guinea to the supply and the amount of power that we have to distribute to the population. Who did this? So I can go on and on and on. But the question I want to put at this stage is, if your representatives in a coalition government can move this country in such a short period that they have served, when you have a UDP government, what do you expect? A UDP government will take up all the challenges that this country is facing. And it's only the UDP that has the capacity to transform this country from the bottom that we are in today to a higher height where we will all enjoy prosperity, and not just for a few who are just self-aggrandizement, who are just feeling themselves. Some, they have big stomachs, some have big cars, and so on. We are not that type. UDP is for the Gambia. I want you to repeat that. UDP for the Gambia. UDP for the Gambia. So, Gambians are grateful for every butut from the launching of the party to this day, and we look forward to the continued support to the party to sustain the party's goal of deepening and maintaining democracy, human rights, the rule of law in this country, and to usher in a transformative economic development program, giving rise to citizens. So,
well-wishers, and all Gambians, you'll see that every single dollar given to the party means you are building the future for your country, the future of your children, and the prosperity that you deserve. And it's only the UDP in this country that can help you get that. So your money is well spent, and the party, I'm proud to say, 2019, we have produced our accounts and it has been audited. So I hope other parties will emulate UDP. So we are taking the lead in this. In here, may I acknowledge the invaluable support and financial contribution of the diaspora to the UDP from inception to date. I personally can attest to this, having directly received funds from the diaspora for financing various party activities. As National Treasurer, and on behalf of our UDP party leader, Secretary General, and Secretary General, the National Executive, and all members of the party, I want to thank the diaspora and pray that we continue to work together for the interests of our country and not for individual interests. I also want to acknowledge here every individual's contribution in cash or kind to the party, whether 1 butut or 1 million. Your 1 butut contribution is worth more than $1 billion of value today, having contributed to the freedom and the establishment of democracy in the Gambia. So I think I can go now to figures. You know where the dollars and bututs are going. You know, when you send it to your party, you buy your membership cards, you give your donations or contributions or hire a vehicle. So the party is making sure that you get the best value for your butut and dollars. For the period 1st January 2019 to 31st December 2019, the party raised a total of $5,202,624. This comprises of contributions of $3,939,382, fundraising programs which raised $563,736, and donations received of $698,506. Now the contribution figure of $3.9 million comprises of contributions of National Assembly members amounting to $668,000. So clap for your National Assembly members. And then the diaspora, we received $3,266,882 as contribution. I think you need a bigger clap than that. The executive, well, I think the figure is so small, but we contribute too much. So far, we raised 4,500, but you can see that there are contributions in kind, in effort, in energy, and time, which will amount to billions of dollars if you value it. But you can see that a lot of our executive also are unemployed. They are not earning salary. So I think you should still give them a round of applause. Now, despite some people saying that they sponsored the 2016 presidential election and the diaspora did not contribute anything to it, as a witness working in the UDP National Treasury since 1996 to date, and I am sure all those who worked with the Treasury or the executive know the tremendous contribution in campaign materials and in funds for the UDP to establish democracy, peace, progress, and justice in the Gambia that we can all smile at, and we acknowledge the diaspora's contribution in this. And these efforts will not only lead to, as we say, a smiling coast, but I think all Gambians will smile, even those in the agricultural fields around the country, in Banjul, KMC, Combos, Fonyes, Badibus, Kiangs, Jaras, Salums, Nyaminas, Fuladus, Jimaras, Tumanas, and Woolies will all smile for the Gambia. However, significantly absent from these income figures are the huge and invaluable support to the party in the hiring of vehicles, funding regional constituency and ward programs, and these activities, if quantified, will amount to millions of dollars, which is an indication of the love of Gambians for their country and the ongoing task for democracy, rule of law, end to corruption, lack of transparency in public procurement of large government projects, abuse of office, discrimination in the civil service and state-owned enterprises, use of taxpayers' funds to finance unproven and, which I think, unfit personal political campaign officials in the false pretense that they are advisors to the Gambian presidency. For sectors, they have scarcely any semblance of knowledge to move this country forward. I think you are all witnesses to advisors dancing in political campaigns and so on, which really is an abuse of the civil service code, it's an abuse of the funds of this country. Why are we using taxpayers' funds to pay for advisors? UDP party members, well-wishers, and all fellow Gambians, let's support the party for the Gambians, and that is the UDP. Every butut contributed to the party, every party membership card purchased, you should be rest assured that it is for the interest of the Gambia. And the UDP is the party for the development of the Gambia. And the UDP is the party for the establishment of true democracy, human rights, and rule of law for the Gambia. I think the UDP will also ensure that the new revised constitution that reflects these values is passed through the National Assembly, and Gambians will have the opportunity to vote on it, as it is the charter that will govern their country. Now, the other question I want to put is, who voted for the revised constitution in the National Assembly? I didn't hear that. UDP, who sabotaged and aborted the efforts to give Gambians a better constitution that will provide the rights of all citizens, get rid of the Public Order Act, give the rights of minorities, women, children, and youth. Who sabotaged that project? I think you should all know clearly that UTP is the party for the Gambia. It's the party for the progress of the Gambia. And then the UDP is the party for the effective and dedicated transformation of the socio-economic tragedies of the last regime and now continuing in the later part of this current Barrow regime since the arrival of a national, and is it NPP? I don't know even what that represents. But what I will say it represents is the National Poverty Program for the Gambia. And I will just briefly say why I say National Poverty Program. We all know that the donors have provided billions of dollars in COVID relief, in budget support and funds. But where are these funds? Have you seen any impactful development? Have you seen any progress or transformation in your hospitals? And somebody was telling me that Sedakunda Hospital lacks, is it a scanner? With billions of dollars, should you lack a scanner in the hospital? With billions of dollars, should you lack an ICU at the referral hospitals in Bansang, Farafenye, or Buyam? I think, fellow members, there has been a lot of talk, but the reality is clear, even if you refuse to accept it, that the UDP is the best option that Gambians have to move this country forward. Now the UDP, your contributions will ensure, the UDP will ensure that we have a beneficial civil service sector reform that will manage and execute with effectiveness and efficiency the government's development agenda and not individual personal self-aggrandizement agendas. The UDP will also ensure that the security sector reforms are carried out in the interest of the Gambia as a nation. That will enable us to meet the security requirements of the country and ensure the total respect for the rule of law and the unshakable observance of the human rights of all citizens. Fellow delegates, let me go back to the figure. The party spent $4,511,634 in operations and programs during the year 2019. The party's administrative costs for the year amounted to $1,687,163. This includes the allowances given to bureau members, administrative overheads, and rentals that we're paying, amongst other expenses. The campaign and organizing costs also amounted to $1,659,971. And political rallies amounted to $1,164,500. Now, the campaign and organizing costs includes regional tours of $381,000, campaign materials of $68,000, victim support of $133,000, and also a support to student wings of $40,000, and welcoming expenditure for the party leader from the diaspora, about $642,000. The party also accumulated assets worth over $7 million, of which motor vehicles and motorcycles amount to $5,467,000. The party's furniture and equipment at the head office and the bureaus amounts to $1,584,000. And we acknowledge the invaluable assistance of all well-wishers in sponsoring the party to achieve its goals for the Gambia. These party activities create awareness on the party's programs, our development agenda for the Gambia, and not for party members or development agenda for our party leader only, Usainu Dabo. No, we are not like others. We want our agenda for the Gambia, just like we developed the National Development Plan for the Gambia, and not for individuals. So these activities also dispel important issues, some of which are false promises, misleading information, which are all aimed at political self-aggrandizement, which they disseminate to our beloved citizens. Fellow members, I would like to thank you all and assure you that the UDP stands for the Gambia, and together we'll march forward to victory in 2021 presidential elections. And thank you all. I just want to take this opportunity to translate just summary, some of these issues in Fula. Because I know we have people from Fuladuan. Unfortunately, some are saying they couldn't hear the last speakers in English and Manding, so I beg to just give a brief summary, because the UDP belongs to all, and I'll also take this opportunity to say all those who point their fingers and accuse of tribalism are just people dispelling false rumors and allegations. And if today a government minister can stand and say only one tribe is being targeted in the immigration, that is the Fullers, I want to ask you, what is that person's tribe? Isn't he a Fuller? Don't we have a Fuller as Attorney General? Don't we have a Fuller as Chief Justice? Don't we have a Fuller before as our Vice President in this country? So who is discriminating against the Fulanis? Not UDP. And for all ECOWAS citizens, the UDP will work within the ECOWAS framework to bring unity to the sub-region, so that all this concept of alliance cards and so on, that is so much of trouble for people all over the country from the sub-region, will be a thing of the past. So please rest be assured, we are a party for all tribes, all people, and we are for the Gambia, not for any individual tribe. So let me summarize. Badiraɓe fulɓe, mi haalay seeɗa wonno mi yejiti goddim kono mi haalay seeɗa e pullo Gambia men iwi e watu mo andi o mettuno economy on yanuno taw men hebuno kadi dictator Yaya Jammeh o salno yaade taw Gambia be wonɓe ka leydi comme IMF World Bank ɓe nangi juude maɓɓe ɓe wallatano Gambia kono gila o change heɓi UDP heɓi himɓe tati ka gouvernement coalition o ɓe heɓi place ji iwiɗo foreign affairs finance lands and regional integration. They have vice presidency, heavy trade kadi, agriculture. Kono gila be UDP na be woni minister be ligi e leydi on. Ko leydi on be yi min addi Gambia ka aduna ol himɓe ɓen fof welti IMF rutti Gambia naati kadi Commonwealth ɓe naati ICC IMF programme maɓɓe kadi arti ka Gambia min heɓi ballal kadi iwdo America Millennium Challenge Corporation menen kadi wadi program development strategy a plan national development plan 2018-2021 ko UDP wadi dum fo be yahi kadi Brussels e president on e minister ji den ben hebi lahidi ballal ko yahi ha billion goto e million ji temedde jeedidi ɗum fof ko enen liggi ɗum sa yi hande oɗo himo yilo e leydi ɗin himo haala national development programme ko menen fewni ɗum UDP fewni ɗum programme electricity kadi men fewni plan andi no men wawayno hebude 50 megawatts generation plant taw ɗum ittayno nibbude fof ka leydi on ka plan on kadi école ji ɗin fof heɓay solar power ka plan on l'hôpitaniji ɗin fof heɓay solar power so ɗum fof ke ligge UDP so ɗum haalni ɗum pour on andude pati on ko pati mon pati on ko pati Gambia wona pati neɗɗo goto e joni min wawi haalde kadi contribution ji ɗin diaspora on no walli e mbuy mi yettiɓe e ballal mabɓe ɓe balli hoore mabɓe ɓe halli e baadirawo mabɓe ɓe balli leydi mabɓe so diaspora on jarama on jarama on jarama yo pati on hitande 2019 ɓen heɓi e kalis yaado ha million ji 5 guluje temedde ɗiɗi e ɗum kalis e contributions ko ɗum woni himɓe ɓen okata on yahi ha million ji 3 temedde 9 capanɗe 3 e 9 fundraising programme ɗum woni programme ji ɗin pour dabbugol kalis kamɓe ɓe nattini temedde 5 e guluje temedde 5 capanɗe 6 so e contribution noon kadi National Assembly members be wadi contribute guluje temedde jeego capande jeego e jeetati. Diaspora on kambe nattini million ji tati temedde ɗiɗi capande jeego e jeego. Diaspora contribution do wadi 62.8% e party funds on. So me wada haalanayɓe on jarama boy yimɓeɓe woni diaspora ko leydi mabɓe ɓe wallata ona UDP ko parti non ko UDP ko parti leydi on. Yo so dépense on o yahi hitande on million ji nayi temedde joyi e sappo e goo. Administrative cost ko ɗum woni dogingol office on yoɓugol e liggoɓe ton e luwasiji ɗin e goɗɗin ndu yahi ha e million goto temedde jeegom capanɗe jeetati e jeeɗiɗi. Campaign programme ji ɗin ɗum dépense o yahi million goto guluje temedde jeego capanɗe joyi e jeenayi. Campaign and organizing cost regional tours o yahi guluje temedde tati capanɗe jeetati e goto. Victim support woni e himɓeɓe me walli ɓeeɗo heɓɗo mettude ka laamugol Yaya Jammeh o e goɗɗe ɗum min dépense ton guluje temedde e capanɗe tati e tati. So ɗum woni dépense parti on. Min fewni compte e auditors ɓe waɗi audit kono hande auditor on arani kono mi haalna e programme coordinators ni wonno janngo min adda e auditor o waɗa read audit report makko ha mi waɗa adopt par ce que ko congress on watta adopt audit report on. So deputy am o jonna e region fof e chairman on copy report on executive and names on ɓe fof ɓe heewi joni. So on daray ɗum si min ari janngo si Allah jaɓi e waɗay ɗum consider auditor on kadi o waɗay report makko. So on jarama moƴƴo yo Allah wallu e gayna e o congress e jaam.
Thank you very, very much, Honorable Amadou Sane, for that succinct report on the overview, on the highlight of the role the UDP representatives in the current government administration had done. You showcased the amazing work and success stories that these representatives did whilst assuming office, and acknowledging and extending appreciation for support in cash and kind for the development activities that benefits Gambians. You also shared some areas of commitments that a UDP government aims to commit to and the expenditure to date for financial year 2019 and 2020. So we thank you very, very much for that overview. We've come to the last part of this particular session, which is the discussions on the reports that were highlighted. We would now like to open the floor to delegates, to members of the executives, for discussions on the financial report, the activity report, and the Congress reports. The floor is open for discussions.
Madingolu Ajaratu Olidiba ay min banke jang wala nyinti ko Honorable Amadou Sane kabiring abota danterola marallo Kenya mi alonko wala munafuloti nafulo mi alonko da panso keta ñi sanji fulo min tambita teng a wala itandi koku dunta je drong a be bonni nyotole a bebe senearen wala ay tandi ko UDP lem patrioti mi alonko tilingo ni lanno bije Gambia no be wala batu kan ñim banko ka ñim patio le batu pour kam man sakunda tamande ni lanno ni tilingo la o tilingo ni lanno na fulo tamanta nyame ñi sanji fulo ko na wala banke teng akom be tembo min to silang min binala wala mu sain be kachakela min be dendi ñim na fulo ke nyala min banke ta teng purum be kachakela wala na kachabe tarla wala to purum be se kacha nyofe ka jako ñi la fulo min dapansta teng a dapansta nin tilingo ni lanno le kono.
Thank you also for being able to be the communicator between our Fulani families. I think we appreciate that. This demonstrates the diversity that we have within the United Democratic Party, and we appreciate your being able to extend that message on to our families, the Fulani families as well. Thank you. So I now want to open the floor for discussions. Are there any observations, any comments, any questions or clarities that you would want to bring to the executive regarding the reports that were presented?
Ako silang ko fela da yelata momo e nyininkaro soto mimbe dending Honorable Amadou Sane min banketeng ise bulo wulindi momo e lafan kango soto je tumo min Amadou Sane bankero ke nyin dafanso min ketateng imari se bulo wulindi saim be felem be kenoto momo se fen fo no do ye bulo wulindi ifari fana se fen kafuno jele.
Just to clarify that the report is on the financial report, on the activity report, and the Congress report, not just on the finance report.
Akamin bankeja wala mu report saba wala banketa jang min keta nanyin Congress wala report oti atamandirinya anin patio fana atamandirinya ni sanji fulo min keta teng anin dapanso fana dapansinya ana atamandirinya ni sanji fulo min tambita teng so nyin ku sabol bele be kacala momo e nyin karo soto momo e la finkan soto je imari shebulo wulindi yena ye nyin karo ke waran ni lafta fellala je isala je.
In the absence of comments, feedbacks, observations, or clarifications, can we propose to adopt the Congress report and the activity report? The Congress report that was presented by Honorable Alaji S. Dabo, the Acting Senior Administrative Secretary, and the activity report by His Excellency Usainu A.N. Dabo, Secretary General and Party Leader. Can we propose for the adoption of these two reports? The financial report will be concluded after the audited reports tomorrow. So what we plan to do is to have the part 3 and part 4 of these sessions commencing tomorrow morning. That's why we need.
Jërëjëf mbokk yi waa UDP ñu ne waxtaan bi neex na lool report bi party leader bi joxe fii report bi suñ Minister of Finance joxe ak report bi Acting Senior Administrative Secretary Alaji S Dabo joxe li ci gën a fees mooy ne biñ jógee Congress 2018 ak léegi not working waaw suñ mbokki olof yi tamit pour ñu wax leen rek ne ñetti report lañ fi dégg léegi nii report bi njëkke bi Alaaji Esda bu moo ko joxe wone fan la parti bi jaar biñ jógee Congress 2018 ba tey wone na resolution siñ jëloon ak niñ soppalee suñ constitution bi wone na parti bi activité yim def yépp mu ngi ko doon wax bi moo wax ci làkki angale secretary general party leader moom ci boppam jox na report Congress wone na moom ci boppam office am tukki yim def ak activité si nga xam ne yeneen organe si parti bi def nañ ko youth wing bi laag fundraising ak diaspora bi laag ak jaar-jaar yi nga xam ne moom la def as secretary general ak party leader wone tamit UDP biñ nekkee ci government bi jaar-jaar yi fa ministre yi def moom ak ndem si yàlla si Alaaji Lamin Damu Diba ak finance minister Alaaji Amadou Sané du ci dem affaire yi Commonwealth bi du ci affaire yi boolewaat Gambia ci réew yi nga xam ne àddina si ñu ngi ko waxantoo liggéey parti bi ak office am liggéey bi ñu def ci diggante bi yëpp wax na ko ci olof wax na ko ci soose wax na ko ci angale mujjanteel wax biñ def mooy suñ parti treasurer bi national treasurer bi moom def na sax ba def ñu buuñaatey laaka na pël ñi fi dégg pël xam naa ne kontaan nañ torop ci waxtaan bi waaye moom li mu wone rek mooy ne UDP bi ñoo nekk ci government bi liñ gisoon rek mooy Gambia UDP biñ ko sosee ba léegi Gambia la taxawal dëgg la at bi at bu jafe la at boo xam ne la am nañ coono am nañ métit ci àddina si yëpp ndax coronavirus bi waaye loolu terewu doomi UDP ñu ngi taxawu parti bi di génne di dugal ci affaire yi parti bi mu ngi leen a woon di dalal seen xel tamit ne bu rëy buñ si def bu tuut buñ si def dalasi buñ si def ñu ngi koo def ci soxla parti bi ID card buñ jënda xaalis boobu yëpp ñu ngi koo dajale di ko toppatoo at mi nag mënoon nañoo def external audit so figures yi yëpp ñu ngi foofu noonu millions si ak thousands si ak téeméer yi yëpp ñu ngi ko seet bàyyee ko professionnel koo xam ne atte na ne suñ xaalis niñ ko toppatooyee ñu ngi ko toppatoo ci yoon ak si sarta biñ ko tegal foog naa ci gàttal rek ak li ñu yàgg a toog loolu moo amoon ci waxtaan bi léegi li modérateur bi di laajte mooy su fekkee ne am nga laajte su fekkee ne am na loo bugg a tamit ñu leeral la ci ñetti report yi ñu ngi ubbi waxtaan bi pour ñu dugg ci waxtaan boobu noonu jërëjëf suma mbokki wolof yi.
jërëjëf Almami Fanding Tall faram fàcce nga firi nga yëpp thank you. fekkee ne amuñu benn comments o amul kenn ku bugg a laajte am laajte bu mu bugg a def o pour joxe kaddu dañu bugg a adopt report bi pour ñu mun a continuer guddi na te ñëpp sonna nañ alhamdulillah. ok baax na dégg nañ ne am nañu kontaan ci bu fekkee ne ñëpp d'accord nañ ci report yi dañ bugga pour ngeen ekati seen loxo yi baax na ci gàttal congrès yi 2020 bi ñëpp d'accord nañ ci activity report ak congress report financial report bi dinañ ko eggali ëllëg su subaa fu mu nekk nii ñëpp soona nañ ñaari activité yu des dinañ ko continuer pour suba ëllëg ci suba bu neexee yàlla 10 o'clock ñun yëpp ñu dajewaat fii ñu mun a continuer ñu teel a door pour ñu mun a continuer yeneen activité yu ñu waroon a def pour ëllëg ci suba balaa ñoo dem ñu deeku nangu ñaan ñun yëpp ñu ñaan tëj bés bi ba ëllëg ci suba incha allah ku nekk ñaan ci lum xam ak ci làkk bu mu bugga ak ci diine bu mu bugga jërë leen jëf ñu fanaana jaama ba ëllëg ci suba 10 o'clock ñun yëpp ñu taseewaat fii bu neexee yàlla ñu teel a door thank you very much and we conclude the day and convene here tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. Thank you.